eternal life. The very words whisper promises of a realm beyond comprehension, a state of being untouched by the fleeting nature of this earthly existence. It beckons, doesn't it? A shimmering horizon just beyond the veil. But what if I told you that the path to this eternal life isn't a passive waiting game? What if I told you it hinges on something you must do? The truth is, the gates to my eternal kingdom aren't flung open to all who simply believe. They swing wide for those who act, those who embrace the very essence of my being and reflect it in their lives. Think of the parable of the talents. Did I reward the servant who buried his talent out of fear? No. I celebrated the ones who took what I gave them and multiplied it, who dared to risk, to strive, to do. This, my children, is the key. Eternal life is not a gift bestowed upon the idle. It is a reward earned through diligent service. Consider the lilies of the field. They toil not, neither do they spin, yet I clothe them in splendor surpassing Solomon in all his glory. This is not to suggest idleness, but to illustrate the profound truth that true worth lies not in material wealth, but in spiritual richness. What good are earthly treasures when they cannot be carried beyond the grave? The true treasure, the eternal riches, lie in the actions you take, the love you give, the service you render to others. Think of the Good Samaritan. He didn't simply believe in compassion. He acted on it, tending to the wounded man's needs. He embodied my love, and in doing so, paved his own path towards eternal life. This is the heart of the matter. Faith without works is dead. It's like a seed planted but never watered, a flicker of potential extinguished before it can blossom into a roaring flame. You see, my children, I created you in my image, instilled within you a spark of the divine. But that spark requires nurturing, it demands action. It needs to be kindled through acts of kindness, through selfless service, through unwavering devotion to the principles of love and compassion. Just as a muscle grows stronger with use, your spirit flourishes through righteous deeds. Each act of generosity, each moment of forgiveness, each instance of unwavering faith is a brick laid in the foundation of your eternal dwelling. The Sermon on the Mount wasn't merely a philosophical treatise. It was a blueprint for living a life worthy of eternal reward. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This doesn't mean material poverty, but a humility of spirit, a recognition that all blessings flow from me. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Meekness is not weakness, but strength under control, a willingness to yield to my will. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. This speaks to the empathy you feel for the suffering of others, a reflection of my own boundless compassion. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. This is the yearning for a deeper connection with me, a constant striving to align your actions with my divine will. And blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Mercy is the cornerstone of my kingdom, the very essence of my being. When you show mercy to others, you reflect my own infinite mercy, and in doing so, draw closer to eternal life. Remember the story of the rich man and Lazarus? The rich man, consumed by his earthly pleasures, ignored the suffering at his doorstep. He failed to see the opportunity for service, the chance to demonstrate compassion. And in the end he found himself separated from my grace. Lazarus, on the other hand, though suffering in this life, found solace in my embrace. This is not to say that earthly suffering guarantees eternal reward, but rather that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the richness of your spirit, the depth of your compassion, the unwavering strength of your faith. So I ask you again, what am I waiting for you to do? The answer, my children, is simple. Live a life worthy of the kingdom I have prepared for you. Embrace the principles of love, compassion, and service. Let your actions be a testament to your faith. For it is not through mere belief, but through righteous deeds that you will inherit eternal life. This is the truth, the unwavering promise, the eternal covenant. Go forth and live it. Let us speak of a thirst, a deep yearning within the human spirit. It's a hunger not for earthly sustenance, but for something far more profound, far more lasting. It's the quiet whisper in the stillness of your heart, the echo of a promise made before time began. I speak, of course, of the yearning for eternal life. You see it reflected in your search for meaning, your pursuit of happiness, your innate fear of oblivion. But what if I told you that this very yearning, this insatiable hunger, is the first breadcrumb on the path to its fulfillment? The scriptures speak of seeking and finding, of knocking and having the door opened. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Matthew 7 verse 7. These aren't mere words, but a divine invitation, a cosmic promise. The seeking itself is an act of faith, a testament to the spark of divinity I placed within each of you. This spark, however, requires fuel. It needs the oxygen of action to ignite into a roaring flame. Consider the parable of the sower. Some seeds fall on rocky ground, some among thorns, but those that fall on good soil take root and flourish. The good soil represents a heart prepared through service, tilled through compassion, and watered by unwavering faith. It is in the doing, in the active embodiment of my teachings, that you cultivate this fertile ground within yourselves. Think of the 10 Commandments. Are they merely a list of prohibitions? Or are they a roadmap to a life lived in harmony with my divine will? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Mark 12 verse 31. This isn't a suggestion, but a fundamental principle upon which my entire kingdom is built. When you love your neighbor, you are loving me. When you extend a hand to the needy, you are extending it to me. When you forgive those who trespass against you, you are reflecting my infinite capacity for forgiveness. This is the essence of eternal life, becoming a vessel of my love, a conduit of my grace. The world offers countless distractions, shimmering illusions that promise fulfillment but ultimately leave you empty. Wealth, power, fame, these are fleeting shadows. True fulfillment, true lasting joy, lies in aligning your will with mine, in becoming an instrument of my divine purpose. Remember the words of the prophet Isaiah: learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, plead the widow's cause. Isaiah 1 verse 17. These are not mere acts of charity, they are expressions of your divine nature, steps taken on the path to eternal life. The kingdom of heaven is not a distant paradise to be passively awaited. It is a state of being, a way of living that begins here and now. It is woven into the fabric of your everyday choices, the tapestry of your actions. Each act of kindness, each moment of forgiveness, each instance of unwavering faith is a thread that connects you to me, a bridge that spans the chasm between the temporal and the eternal. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. Matthew 16 verse 25. This is the paradox of faith. By surrendering your ego, by relinquishing your attachment to the fleeting pleasures of this world, you find true life, eternal life in me. Let us speak of a garden. Not the Garden of Eden, though the echoes of its beauty and its loss resonate within every human heart. I speak of a garden you tend yourselves, a garden within. It is a landscape of the soul, a terrain shaped by your choices, cultivated by your actions. This inner garden you see holds the key to a life beyond measure, a life unbound by the constraints of time and mortality. Intrigued? You should be. For this is the very essence of eternal life, not a distant promise, but a present reality cultivated within the fertile soil of your spirit. What are the seeds you plant within this sacred space? Are they seeds of love, compassion, and forgiveness? Or do thorns of envy, resentment, and greed choke the tender shoots of your divine potential? The parable of the talents speaks not only of material wealth but of the spiritual gifts I bestow upon each of you. These gifts, empathy, kindness, creativity, resilience, are not meant to be buried out of fear or insecurity. They are meant to be nurtured, to be multiplied through acts of service, through the unwavering pursuit of righteousness. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5 verse 16. This light, this radiant essence within you, is a reflection of my own divine light. It shines brightest when you allow it to illuminate the path for others, when you use your gifts to lift the spirits of those around you. Consider the story of the Good Samaritan. He didn't simply pass by the injured man. He saw in him a reflection of his own humanity, a brother in need. He acted not out of obligation but out of love, out of a deep understanding of our interconnectedness. This, my children, is the heart of the matter. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Matthew 22 verses 37 to 39. These two commandments are not separate edicts, but two sides of the same coin. When you love your neighbor, you are loving me. When you serve the least of these, you are serving me. This is not a burden, but a privilege, a pathway to experiencing the fullness of my love, the boundless joy of eternal life. The fruits of your inner garden are not meant for your consumption alone. They are meant to be shared, to nourish the world with the sweetness of my grace. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you pour out your love, the more it overflows into your own being. This is the divine paradox, the eternal truth. By losing yourself in service to others, you find your true self, your eternal self, in me. So I ask you again, what seeds are you sowing? What harvest will you reap? The choice, as always, is yours. Tend your garden well. Let's speak of whispers. The quiet murmurings that brush against your soul in the stillness of the night. The subtle nudges that guide you, sometimes imperceptibly, toward a greater purpose. Have you felt them? These whispers, my children, are the echoes of my voice, the gentle promptings of my spirit, guiding you toward a truth more profound than any you could imagine. And what is this truth? It is the truth of your own divinity, the spark of my being that resides within each and every one of you, waiting to be kindled into a roaring flame. You see, I created you not to be mere mortals, bound by the limitations of this earthly realm, but to be heirs to my eternal kingdom, co-creators of a world yet to be fully realized. But this inheritance, this magnificent birthright, is not passively received. It is earned not through toil and struggle, but through the cultivation of your inner landscape, the tending of the sacred garden within your heart. Think of the parable of the mustard seed. The smallest of seeds, yet it grows into a mighty tree, sheltering the birds of the air. So too is the seed of faith planted within you. It may seem insignificant at first, a mere flicker of belief, but with nurturing, with unwavering devotion, it can blossom into a force that transforms not only your own life, but the world around you. And what is the nourishment this seed requires? It is the living water of my word, the fertile soil of love and compassion, the sunlight of forgiveness. Love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Matthew 5 verse 44. These are not mere platitudes but the very keys to unlocking the kingdom within. For when you love your enemies, you transcend the limitations of human ego, you tap into the boundless wellspring of my divine love, and you begin to experience the true meaning of eternal life. This life, this eternal existence, is not something that awaits you after death. It is a state of being, a way of living that begins here and now. It is the realization of your oneness with me, the understanding that you are not separate from my divine essence, but an integral part of the grand tapestry of creation. I and my Father are one, John 10 verse 30. And so too are you one with me, one with the source of all life, all love, all being. Embrace this truth, my children. Cultivate the seeds of divinity within you. Let your actions be a testament to the love that burns within your heart. For in doing so, you not only inherit eternal life, you become the living embodiment of my grace, a beacon of light in a world yearning for redemption. Please provide the topic you'd like me to analyze. I'm ready to craft a compelling piece from the perspective of God, focusing on the message, lessons, and divine teachings within the chosen subject. I'll make sure the opening is captivating and hints at the deeper meaning without giving it all away. Just give me the topic and let me do the rest.